Well, we love featuring artists you should know about on the show, and today we're heading to North Carolina to chat with singer-songwriter Rob Cole. Rob's been at this for a while, but last year, he says, was pretty much his first full year. He released a couple songs, played 90 shows, and he's got a ton of stuff on his plate. His latest single, Jesus and a Woman, is out now. We're excited to have Rob Cole on the show. First, Rob, thanks so much for coming on.
I appreciate you having me on, Jeff. It means a lot to me, man.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. Pembroke, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I looked this place up. You're like out in the middle of nowhere. It says your population's 2,900. Well, what are you doing in Pembroke?
Yeah, so I was, this is my hometown. I was born and raised here, and haven't left since birth. So it's a beautiful spot, though. It's a great place to grow up, great place to live still, and just a beautiful community. And we're, like you said, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Usually when you're describing Pembroke, North Carolina, you're talking more about, we're about 2 hours from Raleigh, North Carolina, or something like that. So it's not well known, but we're a nice little community.
Yeah, sounds like us here in Buffalo, Wyoming. You're like south of Fayetteville. How far are you from Fayetteville?
Yeah, exactly. We're probably about 30, 45 minutes south of Fayetteville. Yeah.
So not too bad.
Right below Fort Bragg, or Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you're a busy man, Rob. Holy cow. Listen to this. He's working on a worship prayer EP for a client. He's writing and recording an original song for a client. And he's working on his own upcoming album, East of Tennessee. Did it all hit you at once? What's going on?
No, it's kind of planned, honestly. It's planned chaos, if that makes any sense. Coming out of the end of last year, the last 3 months I did, you mentioned it earlier, I did 90 shows last year. The last 3 months of the year, I did about 33 of those shows. So over a third of the shows I did were the last 3 months. So that was really busy. So coming into this year, winter months, doing shows at restaurants and things like that, it's not too busy. So I kind of planned to do some production. So I had some clients kind of show some interest, and been working on this little worship EP album for a good friend from Fayetteville, and that's been pretty awesome to do. And then also I opened up the door I did a little sort of a holiday promotion deal where I said, you know what, if you want me to write something for a significant other or a mom or a dad or whatever it might be, let's hook up. I'd love to write a song and sing it for them. And so I had a client reach out for Valentine's, and so I'm working on a little project for them, just a single original song. And then I've been in the works for my upcoming album, and that's East of Tennessee, which I'm very, very excited about. I did the drum tracks last Friday, which was a huge step in the whole process, and so it's been busy, but like I said, it's been planned chaos. So
yeah, well, that's good. You knew it was coming then, so that
exactly.
That's always a plus. You mentioned the drums, but before we get to that, did you start with the piano? What was your first instrument, Rob?
No, my first instrument was actually drums. That was my original love. And I started when my dad owned a music store, my mom grew up in a musical family, and they put drumsticks in my hands as early as 3 years old, and rhythm came really, really natural for me. So, me and my brothers were putting little talent shows growing up. I got videos of when I was about 5 or 6. Where I'm playing in talent shows, and there's this little spiky head kindergartner jamming out on the drums.
Wow.
So drums were my original instrument. I didn't start pick up piano until I was probably about 11 or 12. I was in the back of my dad's music store where there was an old upright piano, and it caught my attention for whatever reason, and I was self-taught, learned by ear. Just kind of picked it up little by little over the years, and then acoustic came around 2014, and same thing. I kind of self-taught and been a fun little journey.
Yeah, for sure. You're a very talented guy, Rob, because, he plays piano, drums, guitar. It's hilarious. If you go to any of his Instagram, TikTok, he shows some of his drum track. You're a little rusty. You said thanks to your buddy for putting up with you, but then you get your groove down after a little bit.
Yeah, we ended up tracking. We had 7 songs we wanted to do, and we ended up tracking all 7. And thankfully, my good friend, he was with me there, and he was kind of our engineer, which helped out a ton because I didn't have to sit there and delete all my own mess ups and mistakes. But it was a fun time. I hadn't played in it's been months since I played. So I was definitely rusty, and we both knew that coming in, but we got the job done. It was a fun time. We had a good time.
And then, are you laying the drum tracks? Is this for your album?
Yes, this is for my album.
Okay.
Most of the last 2 singles I put out, the one you just played, which I'm very thankful for. Thank you for that. Luckiest Man Alive and Jesus and a Woman. Those are self-produced, and so Luckiest Man Alive, I played pretty much every instrument except for bass and lead guitar. And then Jesus and a Woman was a little different approach. I did the drums, piano, different things like that, but I actually hired some great musicians from Nashville, Tennessee to kind of help me out with that one.
Yeah.
But, most everything I do now which is great to have. It's a great asset to have, to be able to record. And my dad was a recording engineer, and so he kind of introduced me to everything at a very young age. And little by little, I've just kind of, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm at a good place because as an independent artist, it can be pricey to jump into Nashville or anywhere and say, hey, I'd like to do an album. All right, cool. You got $20,000? I don't. I think I'll go home and go to my corner in the bedroom and record my own album.
Yeah, I'll figure it out one way or the other.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, go check him out. Rob Cole. He's on Facebook, Instagram. Go to YouTube. He's got a ton of videos on there. He's on TikTok. His single he just mentioned, Jesus and a Woman, is out now. Well, you mentioned your brothers, because when you went to the Josies, was your brother playing bass for you?
Yeah. So that was a fun little. That was really fun. A great core memory to have now. And he went with me, and several of my good close friends that are all from around here, around home, around Pembroke, and he went and played bass with me. And we actually played a little, got together and jammed a little bit Sunday night. We're preparing for. This weekend, I'll be in North Myrtle Beach at the House of Blues for an award show. Had a couple of nominations there to the Carolina Country Music Awards.
Yeah.
And so got the opportunity to perform one of my upcoming songs from my album. And so he'll be playing with me there again. And so that's been fun, kind of reconnecting with that, because we hadn't played together since we were small.
Yeah.
And so he hadn't really picked up bass in a long time and had shown some interest, kind of pulled him in, and hopefully be able to do some more live shows this year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we mentioned it. You mentioned it. 90 shows. You played a third of them the last 3 months of 2023. You said it was like your first full year. Why now?
Yeah.
What was the change? How'd you turn the corner?
I'll be honest. Coming into the end of 2022, probably mid 2022, we have a huge gathering that we call Lumbee Homecoming here in Pembroke, and it's a gathering of the Native American tribe Lumbee, and it's which Lumbee is the biggest Native American tribe east of the Mississippi River, and so I have a huge event, man. You mentioned it earlier, 2,900 population. We gather around 30 to 40,000 people here in this small town.
Oh, wow.
And it's a huge deal. So, but I got the opportunity that weekend to do a couple of performances. And a good friend of mine that's in the North Myrtle Beach circuit, he kind of just offered it. He said, hey, how would you feel about doing some shows down in North Myrtle Beach? And so I took him up on that offer, and we did about 3 shows to end out 2022, and going into 2023, I was booking about maybe 2 to 3 shows a month. And it was about that halfway mark in 2023 where things really started ramping up. And like you said, mentioned, I ended up with 90 shows last year. And I don't know, it was never something that really ever crossed my mind until it did. And when it did, it made sense. And, I think it was, timing to, I think if I did this 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been prepared as I am now as a musician, as a husband, as a father, all those things. And so I think timing was everything. And I don't know why it took this long, but here we are, and I'm glad we're here. So,
yeah, for sure. Well, you mentioned Lumbee. You're Native American, and so is your wife, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, we are part of the Native American tribe, Lumbee tribe, right here, based in North Carolina, based in Pembroke, North Carolina, and not federally recognized yet, but we continue to fight for that. But it's a huge part of my life, huge part of my platform, and I love representing what we call around here my people. There's my people right there.
Yeah,
and yeah,
for sure. We're right south of the Crow Reservation here in northern Wyoming.
Yeah.
Right up in Montana.
Awesome.
Well, I was listening to your Something Real album. Well, this thing is deep, Rob.
Yeah.
This was like 4 years ago. What was going on in your life, or what was the reason behind the album?
Yeah, a little bit more background there. I took a job. I was a youth worship pastor in 2014 at a church up in Fayetteville. And it was a church we attended for about 14 years, actually. My parents, when I was living at home, we moved. We didn't move. We commuted to this church up in Fayetteville. And I ended up taking a job there as a youth worship pastor. And, did heavily worship music. And so there for about 7 years or so. And I released that album in the end of 2017, and man, it's still part of who I am, and my faith is the basis of everything that I do, not just as a musician, as a singer, but as a father and things like that. And I think you hear a lot of those things. There's foundations in my music, in the words, and it's even in the title, like Jesus and a Woman. So. Yeah. That's kind of my background. I come from, I was a worship pastor there for about 7 years or so before me and my wife, we kind of stepped into a new direction, a new season of life. And that's kind of when I took the, opportunity that was given to go out and start doing shows. And so, now I'm out being salt and light, hopefully, to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, if you go and check out Rob's Instagram, YouTube, his Facebook page, you got a bunch of cover songs. How do you pick the covers? You said something like 3 people sent you a song last week, and you jumped right on it.
Yeah. So I choose a lot of covers. I like all sorts of. I do country music, but if you ever go to one of my shows, you'll hear a lot more than just country music. I love country music. That's kind of my basis, my foundation, what I do now. And but I love Southern rock as well. I'll do some of that in the shows, and that's kind of my dad's influence in my life. And I'll even do some, I don't know, you never know what you'll hear. You may hear some Usher in some of my sets, but you never know. I love to have fun, do music that I grew up listening to. And so I choose a lot of the songs I do for covers, but, if somebody sends me something consistently, or, just 2 or 3 people that send me the same thing within a week, which is what happened with this last song, I'll go ahead and knock it out. I'll say, I probably need to get on that. And so 2 of the folks that sent it to me will be at my show on Friday night, so I said, I got to learn that for them at least.
Yeah, I got to be ready.
In the midst of learning it, I said, let me record this. See how this goes. And so it's a tough song. It's a Teddy Swim song, and it was a pretty fun song. Pretty fun.
Well, you do great. You're knocking it out of the park. But go check him out. He's
really
got a clip of it. Him doing the Teddy Sims song, "Lose Control." I think is what it's called. There's also a clip of you and your girls. So I take it your kids are all gung-ho for Dad being a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I guess.
Sometimes.
Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, some days I'm like, oh, they're so proud of Daddy. And then other days it's like, do they even know what I'm doing? So it depends on the day. It depends on the moment. But they love to sing. My girls and my little boy. I've got a little boy. My girls are 7 and 4, and my little boy is 5. And they all love music. There's music constantly playing here around our house, and my little girls are always singing the YouTube karaoke. It's the same songs over and over and over, but it's fun. It's fun. I try to, tolerate it as much as I can, because I was in their shoes at once too, starting to love music, and hopefully in 20 years, or less, it'll pay off for them as well. So yeah, that clip was fun. My oldest little girl, Harmony, she's been wanting to do a little TikTok video for the longest time, and I finally sat down and said, hey, let's do this video. So we did "You Are My Sunshine."
Perfect.
My baby girl introduced it as "We Are My Sunshine." So.
They are your sunshine.
Exactly, 100%. They are 100% one of the biggest reasons I do what I do. So.
Yeah. Go and check him out. Rob Cole. He's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. He's on TikTok. His latest single, "Jesus and a Woman," you're going to hear it here in just a second. Well, you're doing solo gigs. You were doing some band gigs. You're doing some duo gigs. I mean, does it depend on the venue? Does it depend on the night? Do we play with different people? How's it work?
Yeah, it really just depends on what the show needs. Most everything I do is duo. I do some solo here and there, and then right now live band is like very sparingly, but hopefully we'll get to kick some of that up more towards the mid-year this year with that new album coming out. So, but yeah, it just depends on the venue and kind of what they're looking for, and kind of their budget for things, and I kind of base those decisions on that. But I have a lot of fun either way it goes. Solo shows that's when you catch me kind of experimenting a lot with new music, or it may be a new original, it may be a new cover. I just try things out when I'm by myself, because I don't have to worry about my guy next to me having to learn a brand new song. And then duo gigs are really, really fun. I got 2 guys I really lean on for those, and one of those I mentioned earlier, he was the one that introduced me to that North Myrtle Beach circuit. His name's Jonathan Locklear. If you ever get a chance to check him out, one of the absolute best guitarists on the East Coast by far, and he makes an acoustic guitar really, really sing. And so love getting to play with him. He actually books a lot of my shows there in North Myrtle Beach. And my other guys, he's actually my cousin, my second cousin. He's from here in my hometown. They both are, but his name is Zach Deeds. And we get to jam out a lot together. Works out really good because our wives are really close, and we hang out a ton, and so we're constantly together jamming and saying, hey, what do you think about this song? What do you think about that song? And so really fun stuff. Yeah,
if you go to Rob's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you can check out some of his dates. He's playing again coming up this weekend. I think you're in Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle Beach.
Yep. I'm at Duck Dive Bar and Grill there in North Myrtle Beach this Friday night, and then the House of Blues on Saturday night.
Yeah, so he's got some for the Carolina Country Music Awards show. So he's got some big gigs this weekend. Well, we mentioned the Josie Music Awards. You got to play with a guy that we support here on the show. We've had him on the show, Trey Calloway. How cool was that?
Yeah. Well, we didn't play together there in Nashville, but we got to hang out for sure.
Oh, okay.
Actually I did. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me about that, Jeff. Saturday night, we were hanging out there in Broadway, there in Tennessee, and got to go to one of his shows at Alan Jackson's little venue. And we were about an hour. We stayed there about an hour, 2 hours. And just an incredible band. Oh my goodness, what Trey's doing there in Nashville is pretty amazing. And he's like a living, breathing songbook. So, he called anything out to Trey. He's going to know it. He's going to play it. The band's going to kick it. But he called me up on stage that night, and he's like, hey, man, you want to do a song? What song you want to do? What song you want to do? And I'm like, oh, gosh, I don't know. It's kind of that blackout moment of I don't know any songs. But I got a chance to play up there with his band, and that was a good time. Trey's awesome, man. I actually met him through Jonathan. Jonathan plays a lot with him there in North Myrtle Beach, which is, I think, where Trey kind of got his footing before he moved to Nashville there. And so Jonathan connected us, and yeah, man. I actually met Trey for the first time this time last year at the House of Blues event for the Carolina Country Music Awards.
Okay.
We met backstage, got a chance to chat, and just a really down-to-earth guy, really seasoned in the music business, and I love just getting to chat with him, pick his brain, and things like that. So, just an awesome guy.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Well, East of Tennessee, I mean, what's happening this year? What, we're going to play 180 shows? What's the goals for this year?
I'm right now. I'm sitting at 100 shows right now on the books, and but I'm assuming it's going to be like last year, which, you know, a lot of venues they'll book you a month out. You know, most venues will book you way ahead of time, but I'm good for whatever comes, honestly. I'm always an open ear, you know, and always run it through my manager, which is my wife, and so
yeah, exactly.
whatever we're able to put on the books this year, I'm looking forward to. I'm excited about the album coming up. It's going to be somewhere between 10 to 12 songs, including one cover song, which was the drum track I laid. It's a good old Waylon Jennings, "Good-Hearted Woman" cover that I've had a lot of fun doing here in shows, and so I'm looking forward to it. A lot of awesome original music. I've been doing a lot of this original music the last year and a half at a lot of my shows, and been getting great responses. And it's time to get it on out there. So I'm looking forward to, you know, all the ventures to come and doors that'll hopefully open.
Yeah, go and check him out. Go and support him. Big things coming from Rob Cole. Go and follow him. He's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. He's on TikTok. His latest single, "Jesus and a Woman." And go and watch the clip. His original song, "Dirt Cheap." That's a good one, Rob. So
no, that's a great good old Cody Johnson jam there.
Yeah,
it's a great song. I love that song.
Yeah, so go and check him out. He's got all kinds of stuff on his social media. Here is "Jesus and a Woman." Rob, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
KIX 96.5.